everyone. Welcome to another security on DeFi with the Rise Up team. Tonight we have our buddy Ty with us, and
What's going on?
not much, man. Had a long day, but everything went well. Actually, got some great news today for myself, so I'm happy, but I'm very tired. You know,
Well,
when you work a lot, right? And it doesn't matter if you're working, if you either talk a lot or if you actually do heavy work, but either way, you get really tired. So,
yeah. Well, mentally, you can be,
yeah,
tired. So
yep. But everything's great, man. Enjoying my week, checking out some news on crypto, trying to follow up. But I was actually checking out some of the merch from Rise Up.
yeah, we got some of the Halloween merch.
I saw that. Let me check and share that. Hold on. There we go. Oh, I like this one.
Yeah,
Nice.
that one's from Mach 3. So that's the
Nice.
software company, James's company,
Oh, nice.
and that's for
That's the
TCC.
traveling partner, right? Yes.
That's right.
Awesome.
Yeah, you got just a little bit of time left to get them in time before Halloween. So I figured out we'd put them back out there and let everybody know right before it, because shipping and all. So
Halloween, something amazing. I miss it so much. Oh, if if I knew how I was gonna miss it so much, I mean, everything was fun, and I'm not speaking of me being a kid. Like I'm talking about my young age as well. You know, parties, everything. I
yeah,
miss
yeah.
going so much.
I've had a lot of fun Halloween. Now it's, for my kids it's Halloween, so you get to do it all over again, kind of.
Yeah, down here in Brazil, we don't celebrate Halloween much.
Oh really? Oh well.
Yeah, it doesn't have that cultural aspect. Everybody goes trick or treating. Everybody,
Yeah,
go to house parties or have some nice decorations in the house and all of that. They barely do it down here. So it's
yeah,
definitely not the same, man.
yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of fun in the
And
States.
and used to be also the best age because those following months for me was always the best, right? I mean, there's Halloween, there's Christmas, the whole Christmas spirit as well. Especially me when I was in New York, which is cold, so you really get the Christmas spirits that you see in the movies.
Yeah, yeah. What I read sometime, I don't know how long ago it was, but I read where Halloween is the second largest money maker as far as decorations. So only to Christmas, obviously. Christmas takes that pretty easily, but after that, you know it's Halloween, because people tend to decorate more for Halloween than they do except for Christmas, any other holiday, which is kind of funny. You wouldn't think about Halloween being such a big money maker, but it is here for sure, because stores open specifically for that one time of the year, just for
Oh
Halloween. So,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
I know. And all the customs and everything, right? And it's not only for kids, or it's
Oh
everybody.
no,
Right?
it's everybody. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
everybody.
definitely miss it. But I miss more the parties than trick or treating.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I miss both. I mean, when I was a kid, trick or treating was a lot of fun. When I got older, the parties were a lot of fun too. And sometimes
Yeah.
I wasn't old enough for the parties, but they didn't
And
end as
now,
well.
and now that we deal with crypto, we gotta, watch out every day because it's Halloween out there every day.
Yeah, exactly. Trick or
But
treat. That's a good description of crypto. Trick or treat.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant to say everyone. I'm sorry. I was gonna say good night, everyone. I say good night, everything. Sorry. Um, Guys, what's up? Tonight I'm doing two giveaways. I'm doing both NFTs. I'm gonna let one of them be later on, of course. One of them, you gotta like and retweet this post from Rise Up. Right? Make sure you're also following everybody in here. Like and retweet so you can participate on the NFT. And the other one, we're gonna do a game on it. We're gonna ask a question about something that we said tonight during this live, and whoever answers first, they win it. So yeah, I was gonna say that's like, all right, that's Ty's. That do you use this YouTube? No, use the other one. What's hold on, guys?
Oh yeah.
Here.
Hold on. I'm logged into the wrong one, which I'm logged in on both of them. So
Guys, if you do have any
that's my personal.
on anything related to security on crypto, how do people find out what's a rug pull, a honeypot, how to avoid, how to double check if you're buying the correct token, right? There's different phases on crypto. There's the centralized and then there's the decentralized exchange, which are two different ways of buying, right? One of them you hold, the other one you just own, but you don't hold. So I guess that's pretty much how I can say it, right, Ty? One you hold, and the other one you just own, you don't hold.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the difference between them. And they're both, you buy in different ways. So if you do have any questions on how to do it, how to stay safe, what's a hard wallet, why to use it, why not, what's VPN, and other questions. Have you seen any rug pull or honeypot lately, Ty, going on?
Well, I mean, there's a honeypot daily, but I mean, probably
No,
on
I
the
mean
hour at least.
that you tracked down like this last week.
No, not in the last week. No, it's been a pretty hectic week for us.
Oh
We've
yes,
had to
I
take
saw
on a
that.
few
Yeah,
things. So
right.
yeah, but we haven't done a lot of tracking this week or anything. But we will. Like I said, there's a honeypot. I wish Davey was on here. I'm trying
Every
to
corner.
remember. It was just, I think it was 2 weeks ago. We did do some live tracking on our Friday show where Davey just kind of showed, basically just to prove a point, just started picking live contracts as they were coming, as liquidity was getting added, and just checking them as they went. And most of them didn't last more than a couple of hours. So they were either honeypots or rug pulls of some sort.
What are the basic things that people got to look out when they want to invest to know that they're not dealing with anything that it's either a rug pull or anything scary. I'm just gonna put it like that.
So, and not to scare anyone, but to be honest, there's no 100% method. I think anybody that
Yeah.
knows and's been around long enough can tell you that no matter what method there is, it's really, for me, it's going to be, if you add it all together. There's no one thing. It's multiple things. Doxing is important. It's not 100% necessary, but at the same time, it's pretty important to know that who's there. Being a company for me is helpful just because somebody's responsible if any laws get broken. It being a company, somebody is there to be held responsible. How responsible you can actually hold them or not is one thing, but at the same time, it's just one more check in the box to say these things are happening. Uh, to look at, so if you have a dev and they're a dev with experience, and they say they're a dev with experience, then what projects have they worked with? Why aren't they still with those projects? These are just big questions that I have to ask. Now, I don't necessarily have to ask them. I can find this through research in most cases. Now, if you go out of your way to hide what projects you've worked with, then for me, that's a pretty strong red flag right off the bat. Because if you're a good dev, you know, you don't necessarily jump projects a lot. I'm not saying you leave projects. You don't leave projects because it happens, right? But I'm just saying that you should be proud of that you were with the project. And if you're not, then there has to be a reason. And don't hide it. Discuss it. You know, because you know it's going to come out eventually. You know, but for me, like I said, if the dev is not somebody who I know of from projects or know what it is, and even then, like I said, not a 100%, because you could have a dev that writes a project for someone and someone else actually holds the keys. And, you know, just because the dev wrote the contract doesn't necessarily mean he's the one that holds the keys.
I've seen that on this big, oh my God, what's the name of it? It was this huge game that came out right after 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗡𝗖𝗧, and it was a airplane game, right? That you earn money. And this guy created the first game, and it was amazing. Everybody made tons of money. And then he creates the second one, but then on the third game, he changed some of the rules, and people didn't even like realize it. And guess what? He ran away with the money.
Yeah.
So it's difficult, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and you don't know, you never know. It's just, I don't want, you know, I don't want to say, hey, this is such a dangerous thing, don't get involved in it. I'm saying that you need to treat it like it's money, like you do your own money in your pocket every day. You need to make sure that when you give it to somebody, you understand that whether or not you can get it back, it's going to be a hassle if you don't do your due diligence. And you really only have yourself to blame if you don't. You know, you really do. That's with me. If I did everything I thought I could to feel safe and I still get got, then, I mean, what else can I do, right? You know, I've done everything within my power. But if I go in and I just throw in at it and throw in at it and throw in at it, eventually you're going to get got. I mean, it's just going to happen, you know. So, but it's okay. You know, like I said, don't go in and think this is so terribly hard. The one thing is to make sure you're using money that's money you can afford to lose. You know.
And depending on the circumstances of the market, you can also make money on projects that has no utility, or, you know, even if it's a honeypot, if you get out at the right moment, of course, which is very difficult. But, you know, it depends also on the market.
Yeah, it gets, I mean, the deeper you can get into charts and understanding charts, you can do a lot. I mean, there's a lot of money to be made on the shorts. There's a lot of money to be made in different ways, right? I choose not to do a lot of that, but I don't look. People are making their money the way they can, you know, and it's not illegal. There's nothing wrong with it. They're doing, you know, what they know. So there's ways to make money, whether the chart's up or down. Really, a sideways chart's the only thing that's real tough to make any money off of. But it's at some point it's got to go somewhere, right? So yeah. You know, even then, you know, you're going to have a ride one way or the other. But that's the big thing, just to be real careful to make sure, especially when you're new, not to just sink a bunch of money into it because you heard it's easy. Because, you know, and just like you said, when the market's right, when it's a bull market, I mean, it's hard not to make money sometimes unless you just stay too long in things. You know, I mean, almost anything you can guarantee a certain amount of pump when it hits this or when it does that, when it crosses this barrier or whatever, you know, and then all of a sudden it's going to get a pump. Without the bull market, you don't know that. You know, it becomes a lot more important to dig into projects. It's not just scams. It's just making sure projects know what they're doing and will stick to it too, because, you know, whether it was a scam or whether it's a failed project, at the end of the day, you still lose your money. It's the same. You know, it doesn't hurt as bad when you truly believe it's a failed project because you think someone worked as hard as they could to make it happen. That feels better than knowing you just got scammed. But at the end of the day, it's the same. The money's still gone, right? So, you know, it's important to make sure that people are able and they're going to stick to it. That's the biggest thing, you know, because there's going to be ups and downs in every project. I don't care who you are.
That is true, man. The market is there, and if you time how to cash out, not time the market, but if you time how to cash out, then it should be good, right? And always invest where you can afford to lose. Why? Because I won't invest in. Why would I invest something that I can lose? I don't want to lose, of course. But it's we say that because you can invest something and not be looking at the charts every day because you gotta cash out the money. So you can afford to wait a
Exactly.
month, 2 months, or whatever it is. That's why we say don't invest anything that you cannot afford to lose. But pretty much in crypto, if you invest in a good project, it doesn't matter how long it takes. Well, it won't matter because you will reach that price again if it's a good project. So you just gotta hold and wait. It's not like you lost your money.
In many cases, you'll be making sure you're going to have projects that will sustain the bear market, because very few projects are going to, it's hard to say this right, will not pump when the bull market comes, because at the very least, the token backing them is going to pump. So their price will pump, just like when ETH went down, just like when BNB went down, everything went down with it. When it turns around and it starts to go back up, they're going to go back up. So, you know, you'll see a big jump in everybody's chart. There's going to be the very few that don't. The important thing is, are they built to last through a bear market? Are they built to, because really this is the time to build the things that you need to work with, because when a bull market hits, a lot of other things happen, you know? So to have those things ready to go when the bull market hits is where you need to be. You just need to make sure you're with someone who you feel is going to last. And like I said, if you want to play the quick, dump it in and pull it out, by all means do it. That's what crypto is all about. You do it the way you want to do it. And if it works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, then that's fine too. Just understand that that's what you're
Yeah.
doing. It's more like a crapshoot when you do it that way. But I'm not going to tell you it never works, because sometimes it does.
Know your
Somebody's got to
limits.
win the lottery. Yeah. Sorry.
But I think in the bull run you can pretty much like you said make money on anything, but you will also be missing out on a lot of other things as well, because if you make 10% profit in days in the bull market, that is very bad. So
Yeah.
it's not like you're making money because you could be making 100x or anything crazy around with other projects or investments. So it, it's good when you get in the bull market, because by any means, actually it's not that good, because the bull market teaches you that crypto is always going to go up, which is not true. And then you don't know when to get out, and then you cry after because everything crashes and you're like, oh my god, I had this much, now I have nothing. And yeah, it's that feeling that it makes you learn a lot. Yes, HMAC. We did a giveaway on HMAC NFT. Very awesome. Thank you so much, buddy. Hello, Seda Granny. What's up? How you guys doing? Let us know if you do have any questions. Um, and over time, we always get a new kind of scams. I remember the first one that I heard and I saw in crypto was BitConnect, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
Is that the name of
Yeah.
it? BitConnect? Okay.
BitConnect. Yeah.
That was like, oh my God, it was like a mix of multi-level marketing with crypto and a scam.
Yeah. It was more or less, if I remember correctly, it was more or less just a straight up rug pull. It was the first real example of just a rug pull. you know, and whenever something happens, people, will adjust as investors. Go ahead.
Was the person ever charged for anything? Did anything ever happen?
I don't think
I
they
never
ever
seen
got
that.
anyone. I think that if I'm not mistaken, it's still floating around, if I'm not mistaken. That is because you're not talking about, that wasn't the one with the couple, the one with the couple they just caught, was it? I don't think that was BitConnect. It may have been though.
$2.4 billion cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, because yeah, that was a hack. I'm pretty sure the couple that they just recently caught. But I think a lot of that money,
in New York, right? If I'm not mistaken.
yeah, I don't know. They had been all over the place. They had private jets and they'd done all kinds of stuff. They were crazy. They were just trying to blow the money, pulling here and there where they could, because they knew they were well, I don't know that they knew it, but they were tracing them. They eventually caught them pulling money out.
Well,
that's where they get you. Eventually, you got to get some money. You got to have money to spend, and in order to do that, it's hard to completely hide. So
yeah, that is very true.
Yeah, I mean, even if you get fake credit, if you try to get cash, then where you go to pick up the cash is going to be a problem. If you try to use fake credit cards, eventually they're going to track those credit cards. So you're going to have to continuously change credit cards, continuously change. I mean, it would get so overblown crazy that your life would be extravagant but crazy. Now there it is, 70 years in prison.
It wasn't even that long ago.
That wasn't him. That was a different one, though. I'm pretty sure. The one I was thinking about was the other one.
Only the IRS and the FBI are involved.
Both the IRS and FBI, yeah. Well, the IRS gives them, special looks into books with less. When you're dealing with the FBI, they need more. They likely, I would think, need more evidence to actually see your books, whereas the IRS can pretty much ask for your books anytime they want them. So, it's like we're the IRS. You got to show them to us. So
looking back to BitConnect, right? If you were back in the day searching up to figure out if it was a honeypot or not or anything like that, how would you?
I think that was just a straight up Ponzi. Like they were just, new money pays old money.
Don't buy this, by the way, okay?
Yeah. I'm sure there's one out there too. If for no other reason, there's one out there just to be funny. I'm telling you, everything that anybody ever mentions, there's a token. I mean, as soon as it comes out of their mouth, there's a token. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was the first one, and then there was many others after. And like you said, there's pretty much one in every corner. We all got to be careful. Usually look for the devs being doxxed, right? Or you can look at if they have a marketing wallet, where is that going to, right? I mean, the percentage of it, make sure it's hitting right. Also,
and I was going to say there's the big difference too that a lot of times I don't think people talk about enough, and that is the difference between buying things at launch and buying tokens that have been out. When you're buying things at launch, so there's things you got to understand. You can only believe what they tell you because you don't have a contract to check. You don't have it because they're not going to give that out because they can't, because bots will eat them alive if they give out the contract too early. So, and for there's many reasons, but you don't give out the contract too early. So you almost have to just believe what they say. So that's why it really becomes your due diligence is much more. It's always important, and it's a lot harder on launches because you don't have as much actual information. You don't have historical data to go by, because it's unless they are known. But just like I went back to before, if they're known to be in a project, then you have some historical data. Otherwise, you're just taking someone's word for pretty much everything they say, because they can say what the taxes are going to be. They can do this. They can do that. There's no guarantee that's what it is until that contract comes out. And you're not going to know the contract until, likely until, especially if you're pre-sale, private sale, that type of thing. But, just know the differences, when you're going to research, there's different things you have to look for because you have no other choice when it comes to a just launched token as opposed to a token that's been around for a while or a coin.
Yeah, I was actually answering a DM here of one of the guests. The person couldn't make it. So yeah, I got into a lot of projects where I didn't have not financial advice, where I didn't have 100% clue of what exactly it was, but that was only in the bull market. In the bear market, it's time for you to accumulate tokens that you do trust, because that's your chance of getting those 1,000% or 1,000x, right? Sometimes more, and that only happens every 3 or 4 years. So it's cycles that you don't want to miss. So you accumulate, and then at the right time, you take profits and live like a good trader.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw a tweet. This reminds me of a tweet that I saw the other day. I actually commented on it and I can't remember who it was. But they said that, if you have $50,000 and you enter the crypto space, you'll be a millionaire. And it's like, well, that's 100% possible. Yes, it's extremely possible. But at the same time, it's probably even more likely that you're going to lose your $50,000 if you just go in there thinking that that's what you're going to do, and you're not going to have to research, because you'll lose that. The people will lose their money, so they'll get sucked in so quick, and that money will be gone. They'll think they're up 300 grand. Next thing you'll know, they'll have everything they got in it. When they try to pull it, they'll find out, oh, oops, I can't get anything out of it.
And sometimes people get, they cannot wait. That's like the worst one. People cannot wait. And trust me, they're all very bad feelings. When you sell it and it goes up, it's a bad feeling. When you buy, it goes down, it's a bad feeling. When you don't take profit and it goes down, it's a bad feeling.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
get used to those. Get used to
down.
those feelings. Crypto's like anything else. Get used to those feelings, because it's going to happen sometimes, right? And it's a big joke for everybody that's in crypto. I mean, who hasn't said, "I swear somebody's sitting there watching, waiting for me to sell, because as soon as I sell, they buy, or as soon as I
Yeah.
buy, they sell." Why is it like within a minute or two? We've all done it. We've all said that before, where it feels that sometimes you get in that spot. But look, the way I look at it is, if I sell for profit, if I could have made more profit, live and learn. Take that education and just be happy you made money and got education that day, instead of lost money and got education, because that's just as likely, if not more than likely, to happen. So make sure you do your due diligence. And like you said, this is definitely the market to accumulate, to buy tokens that you expect to be around a while. Quick flips are hard right now.
In a matter of what
Not
4 weeks,
impossible.
in a matter of 4 weeks of two people buying 4 weeks apart of each other, that can mean like something totally different. It can mean that one person, it might be, at the end of the bull run, when everything crashes, that person might be still in profit a little bit, but it might be still in profit, while the other person who got in 1 month later might be in a 95% loss.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's crazy, and I saw that last bull run with a friend of mine. He thank God I didn't tell him to, I didn't bother him to do anything. But I was sharing with him information on my portfolio, and a few projects he bought because he saw it was a great project. But one of them, he was so unlucky to buy in at the last day of the bull run.
Look, and it didn't
So what
matter.
does that
So
mean? What does that mean? That means he didn't lose all his money because he didn't sell it. Now that was his smart idea, but then he's like down a lot. But then he had one smart decision and one bad decision. The smart decision was he was like, I'm not selling, I'm gonna hold it, so at least I can get my money back and break out even. But then the bad, I wouldn't say the bad, but the not such a good idea that he had was to not buy more crypto, not lower his average cost.
mhm.
So I mean, and I'm saying that because he,
Yeah,
had to buy more if he could. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is definitely the time to do that if if you believe in the project and that's what you feel. This is the time to accumulate. I mean, it is. I mean, everything's going to be less expensive. Now, the one thing I can say about your friend, though, if he had his money in anything other than an extremely stable coin or cash prior to that, it wouldn't have mattered. I mean, if it was in ETH, it would have gone down that day also, and this about the same amount, right? So that's one thing I want people to think about when they think about the end of the bull run when it happens. Um, where unless you hold your money in a stable token, and that when, as we saw, all stable tokens don't make it through the bear. So you need to make sure it's an extremely stable token. Unless you hold your money there or you hold your money in cash, then you're going to experience the drop just like anyone else. I'm not saying there aren't others that do well. There are, but for the most part, in general, the entire market drops at the same time, and it doesn't matter where your money was at that moment. If it was in the market, it was going down.
yeah,
So when Bitcoin drops like that
trust
and
me,
ETH drops
I
like that,
know
it drags everything with it.
that.
Yeah, so
Hi, trust me, I know that.
so it's hard to kick yourself in that moment, right? It's like, then I should have known yesterday to cash out everything. Who knew that? You know, who knew that exactly? That, you know
Also,
what I mean? So
you know what's bad as well? When you see, that has happened to me in the past, not this last one, but the one before. When I saw the prices dropping, I was still that, very believing. I was like, no, it's gonna go back up because I want to. It's gonna go back up. Guess what? It didn't.
yeah,
So even
yeah,
if it's going down, you also gotta know when to time out, right? Because I mean, if you, let's say you had $1 million, and then when you saw the next day it was like 500K, and you're like, oh my god, I should have cashed it out yesterday. But then no, but it's gonna go up tomorrow. I'm not gonna sell it, and then those 500K might be worth 10K the next day, or whoever knows. So it's also a very tricky feeling if you haven't been there before. That's why it's good to write down what are your goals. If you're buying a token that it's a stable coin or it has been out there for a while, guess what? Prices are gonna go up, but it's not gonna go up that much, like 100, 1,000% and plus. But if you do invest in a solid project that's also early and has opportunities like Rise Up, like Saitama and others, the chances of you making profit it's a lot more. But then it's also more risky, right? Because there's less people investing in it. Myself, I'm like that person. Go hard or die trying. So, so I always like some new investments. I like investments that are new with a good amount of tokens. I like. I don't only look for new investments. I look for community. I look for who's behind. I look for what's the project, and then if I figure out it's an early project with good opportunities, then I rather get into that than Bitcoin and Ethereum. and it has worked out pretty well in the last years. So, but I would say I am able to, figure those out. Like Saitama was something like Rise Up. It was something that I was able to look out and see great opportunity in the future.
Yeah, like I said, we're not going anywhere. That's for sure. So, we're gonna be here when the bull turns around, and we're working right now. And like I said, and I've told you this for the last few weeks, it's we have some exciting things coming forward very soon. I have. There's so many things I want to say but can't say. I've felt this way for about a month now, and it just takes time for everything to happen the way it needs to. But I'm just hoping that at any moment I'll be letting everyone know what we've been working on exactly, and
Oh man, write it down.
what it means, what it's going to mean to the community, and what it'll mean. It'll be a big deal. So we can't wait to do that, and we are working our butts off. This is the time for us. We took this time. What we did, like I said before, we set up our staking so that the staking could take care of our holders while we work in this market. We could throw a bunch of money at advertising. We could do this. We could do that. We tried that at the beginning of the bear market. In fact, we threw a lot of money at advertising, and it did very little. And that was because it's a bear market, and I'm not saying that there aren't ways to produce a pump, and you can, but inevitably it's a bear market. It's a pump, and then it's people looking to flip it and get back out and make their money, and it's not going to sustain.
You can make a pump like how people expect it, right? 100%. And,
Yeah, the FOMO is not there the way it is in a bull run, right? The FOMO, the fear of missing out is much lower than the fear of losing. The fear of losing is much stronger. FUD, what truly FUD means, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, So, I mean, that's really what it is, right? So and I'm not saying it's not possible, because it is 100%. That's funny. It's 100% possible. I'm just, there's different things. Like I said, it's going to require a catalyst, just like you were talking about before. You're not going to see this today or tomorrow. You're not going to see somebody who hasn't, you're not just going to jump unless there's a specific catalyst that causes it, So you have to believe in the project. You have to believe that they're working to do more. No matter what you have as a project, you're going to need to continue to work to do more. If you stop to innovate, and if you stop innovating, and to just smell the roses or just start trying to count the money, you're going to fall behind so quickly from other projects that aren't going to do that, that you will have it you'll have a breath of it, and then it'll be gone. So I think a lot of people get the thought that, oh, okay, this hits and we got it made, we're going to have it made. No, that's not how it works. I'm not saying you can't monetarily set yourself up for life, but it's still work. You better know that, because if not, it'll be momentarily success, that's kind of on paper, but you probably likely will not, unless you are a scammer, are likely not going to benefit from, because you're not pulling your money at the first sign of a peak if you're with the team, So it's just, I think that you really just have to know that the team's going to be there to work. I think that's important, to feel that people are going to work for that token and believe in it.
If you pick the right project, everything should be fine, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the golden ticket, right? That's the answer everyone wants. That's part of the thing, is that when people first come into the market, they just want they don't want to tell them how, they just want to tell them what. They just tell me what to buy. Just tell me what to buy, and that's so hard, because it's such an individual thing. What's a good deal for me may not be a good deal for you. I don't know, what kind of percentages you're looking at. I don't know, there's just too much to go into it. So making calls, but that does, nobody's 100%. So it's just that we would prefer, Rise Up prefers to teach people how to do it themselves. Sometimes that's the harder way around. Sometimes people don't want to listen in the beginning, but eventually, when they lose enough, they'll eventually try to figure out how to protect themselves. So, and then they'll remember where they heard that from, and they'll come to us that's what we want to do. We want to make the space better.
I got a question for everybody. What's RuGpulls' YouTube channel? Whoever answers first is gonna win one NFT. That was a tough one. Just kidding. I am not gonna give you guys any hints, but let me know. What's RuGpulls' YouTube channel? Really?
Yeah.
Who's gonna be the winner? What's RuGpulls' YouTube channel? Very, very easy.
I'm not even getting any guesses.
Right? Let us know. Oh my God, I almost clicked on something wrong. Comments, back to comments. But yeah, Sunny, what's up? Nice in the house. Worships in here. Lady Glam. Seda Granny, H Mac, Crypto Godness, Keynes, Ty, and everybody else. Take a guess. Take a guess. Let me know. But yeah, I wanted. Did you get in touch with your friend, the NFT friend?
You're talking about 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗖𝗧?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can talk to him. I can get him in sometime. Like, it's going to be a tight squeeze for him because I know he does a space every night except for Monday night at 8 o'clock. So, yeah, I can talk to him and get him in if that's what you want me to do.
8 o'clock Eastern time.
Yeah, so I mean, he could come on at 7 and leave at 8. So.
Yeah,
We actually had him on the last Friday show we did. We didn't actually have a show this last Friday, but the one before that.
I separated 3 different beers, man, to drink with you guys, and you're like, you got sick. Why'd you get sick?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was some turmoil for sure, but hey, it happens. But yeah, we had him on. It's great. He's a great guy. He really has a good in-depth knowledge of NFTs, how they work. He has his own project, so he kind of knows the workings of it. It's on Avalanche, which is a completely different blockchain. I didn't know much about Avalanche before speaking to him. I mean, I knew what it was. I knew, its basis, but I didn't, I really didn't dabble too much in it or anything like that. I didn't own anything in Avalanche. So it's, but he's just a nice guy. Not financial advice. I'm not telling anybody to go out and buy Avalanche or buy anything. I'm just saying that I just say, hey, look into it. Just look into Avalanche. I'm not saying buy it. I'm just, but hey, you need to look into everything. You need to understand what projects are out there, what blockchains are out there, what they're doing, because as important as the next token is, what's the next blockchain, right? What's the next coin? What's the next big one? Right. It's not just tokens on individual blockchains, so I'm not saying go out and invest in all of them. I'm saying keep up with what they're doing, so that, because, who knew Poly would have done what it did at one point, who knew, and then Poly's still doing crazy things with the Disney and all that with their NFTs. I mean, you sign Disney, that's a big deal. When you're talking about pictures and now you can legally do limited Disney NFTs, for God's sakes, that's a big deal, right? So I mean, there's just a lot of things going on different blockchains, and if nothing else, there's something to learn, to see how other blockchains do it, because everybody has a little bit of a different way of doing it. They're all blockchains, of course, but they just have different focuses. They do different things. It's just completely different. So always keep up with what's going on. Just like I said, with that innovation, it never stops, and it's important to keep up with it.
Yeah. Congratulations, Conservo. Lady Lamb say congrats as well, and 𝗖𝗓𝗡𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧 on your NFT. Very special.
Congratulations
from our community. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Let me know if you guys do have any questions. I can even say that. Oh my God, that would sound so wrong, but I'm gonna say it. I was hoping that maybe you would know a rug pull from this week, so we could go over. But then,
I didn't. Like I said, I was kind of out of commission for a few days there. So, and then my birthday was last week.
I was hoping that you got into a project looking out this week that we would, the last time I did that actually was with Dave, and he showed us live a honeypot happening. That's what Dave will pick one out. He'll pick one out every time. Well, he has because every time he has a bot that drops when that every time a new pair comes up for BSC. Mine was last week. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Was I singing happy birthday for no reason? They probably were just happy late birthday. Yeah. They just heard me say birthday. That's all it was. But yeah, so they I can't remember what we were talking about, to be honest. What we were just talking about? I got confused with the birthday. You got me thinking about my birthday. First, we were talking about Disney and Avalanche, and then talking about the blockchains. I don't remember. Yes. Honestly, sorry. Last week, I and James had a problem with his recent born baby. Yes, and I had some health issues myself, so we had to postpone last week. We apologize. Good to know that you guys missed Ty. What's the internal temperature of a chicken breast done? That is a very good question, buddy. I wish I could help you. No, that is wrong. Don't cook it to 400 degrees. It'll be like a charcoal. I'd say 170. I think 165 is technically what it is, but I like to get it to 170 in case you're not checking. Well, I'm going to say you guys are all wrong. It's 153.5, okay? That's the perfect. Well, I will say that I know that in South Carolina, the health inspector says it has to reach 165. So, but like I said, I always get it to 170 because I would have to. Other parts may not be if you didn't get in the thickest part. I would have to go with 153.5. Did you Google that? No, according to my cookings. Yeah. Well, if you let it rest, it'll probably, if you pull it at 153.5, it'd probably be 162-ish or 60, maybe 165 by the time you cut it. If you let it rest. 164.8. For 30 seconds. That's awesome. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, since we don't have any new questions and we getting on about that time, I also want to, let Ty rest a little bit from all the situations. And what is the hygienist should be one? Oh, that was for the cooking. Damn, I was way off. Yes, man. He said 400 degrees. No, don't do that. Don't do that. It's gonna look like a black chicken. Yeah. You don't want to do that. It won't be hard. Yeah, it'll be no moisture left. It'll be cardboard. By the way, make sure you check Rise Up's Twitter. Oh, let me check. Rise Up. Here it is. Make sure you guys are following some awesome information about security and about the token in general. You can also go to the Telegram. You can also see the partners. And if you want to go to the website.
Yeah, the
Also,
website, we added a link tree this week. So the link tree actually take you to the links to all of the websites that are connected with us, and also our all of our socials.
I wanted your telephone number. It's not here.
Yeah.
Twitch, Face. Oh, you guys do Twitch as well. I didn't know that.
Well, when we don't do Twitch technically, but what we do is we do stream live to Twitch every Friday.
Oh,
When we do our live stream, we actually stream to Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Telegram all at the same time. So you can only interact like through the comments on either Facebook or YouTube, but the rest you can watch on. And maybe Twitch. You may be able to interact on Twitch too.
yes, and this website's from all the information on the Rise Up, not only the token and the rug screener, but everything else from the Meta Rise, Travel Club, Crypto, the rug screener.
Yeah, go up to the tech. Go to the tech on top where it says tech. Click that. You can play that video.
Was that the video or?
Yeah, it's freezing up.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why.
Well, it's loaded down here, but it's not playing.
Yeah, it's like it's.
Let me put it in the beginning. So see if it goes. Oh yeah,
It's loading real slow.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. I think they got the gist of it. But yeah, that's our corporate website that we're on. That just explains pretty much everything that we have as Rise Up, the company, out of what we have coming. And there's a lot of clues in this website if you want to put two and two together. Yeah, it's freezing up.
That's interesting.
It's trying. It's still loading, but it's just not loading fast enough.
Yeah, the quality of the video is high, I guess.
Yes, it probably is. It probably is as high as you can put it on there.
Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm having connection issues. I don't know.
It happens. Unfortunately, usually at the worst time.
Right. I mean, that hasn't happened in like months. Thank God. But I might be lucky.
Oh God! I hope you got... Thank you for joining us, lady.
So somebody cooked at 400 degrees and said I didn't like the chicken.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like chicken. Yeah.
Last time I was wearing my goggles and pinching in front of my face. My girl thought I was watching. That's funny. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us once again, learning some more about security and crypto. If you do have any questions, you can reach out to the Rise Up team through Telegram or Twitter. They always answer and tie. And if you want more information, you can always go to the website Rise Up Financial, right? Or you can go to the riseupfinancial.tech, which will take you to the other website. And the YouTube is Rise Up Financial LLC. Make sure you guys tune in. Make sure you subscribe. right here. Make sure to subscribe and follow up all the content. They do have lives on Fridays, hanging out, drinking some drinks, talking about security, talking about crypto in general. Make sure you guys are following up with the team. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Have a great night, and I'll be seeing you guys on Thursday on our Wolfpack Roundtable. Special guest this week. Bye bye.
Good night, everybody.
Night.